some of this stuff could be like a 2-year degree, like an IT, is there a web
Oh, yeah.
design or,
There's so many aspects to it. So there's the IT side, there's the design side, there's, kind of more what I do, which is the psychological sort of stuff behind it. So what I would do if I was you is, if that's something you're interested in, try to find somebody that's in the field right now. Talk to them for an hour. Most people are really happy to talk about what they do, especially in this community. People are very generous with their time, and they want to talk about what they do. So I would talk to people in different fields, and just, whether it's development or design or project management, whatever it would be, and see if you can go in and talk to them for an hour and just find out what they do on a daily basis.
colleges, is there, is what you do now, like, related to like a college degree in like graphic design, or is it IT, or like,
Yeah.
like the people in your field, where do they come from? I know you kind of went roundabout, and City College in San Francisco had a big impact on your education and your skill set.
Mhm.
What about in the Midwest? Where do people get the skills?
So it's a lot different now, and I probably can't speak as well to it, but I know, what I know is that, there's so many online courses now, which I didn't have at the time, but you can get a human-computer interaction design degree.
HCI degree.
HCI degree, I think, I want to say Duke or somebody like that has a really good one, but yeah, I know a lot of people, actually, the younger people that I work with, they go and do these online courses in HCI, and that's very different from any development courses, but again, there's a ton of those online too. There's one that Jack, what's his name from Twitter, is a St. Louis
Jack
guy.
Dorsey, DeBerg High School.
Yeah, he has a thing going now that's pretty well respected, and development is kind of the, you're building what I design, and that is a fantastic field. They can't hire people fast enough to do that sort of thing, but I think a lot of people now are just going online and taking courses online, and it has to be something you're very interested in, because a lot of people just sort of learn on their own as well. It's just kind of getting into it and doing it. It builds something,
Right.
and then show it to, if you get a chance to talk to somebody, show it to them and say, hey, what do you think about this? What do I need to improve on, or whatever,
So, a lot of your learning, is sounded like it's been self-directed, you motivated yourself to keep up on things, do things on your own, search out that stuff. This isn't something you just get a degree on and you sit on it for 15, 20 years. You constantly have to keep.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. You're constantly learning. There's new skills all the time. It's still a relatively new field, believe it or not. The web's only been very popular for whatever,
Yeah.
15 years, whatever. But there are so many resources out there, and it's always changing, which I like. That keeps me. I like to keep learning.
Makes you feel young.
Keeps you young. Absolutely.
But, well, and another thing too, you mentioned earlier were the conferences. Even as a teacher, I go to conferences and get professional development, and so the conferences and networking and Twitter and following people and.
Yeah, just finding out what other people are doing. There's I can't say enough about collaborating, and just don't go in with the attitude that you think you know everything, because you don't. Be open to what other people have to say, and you'll find out a lot of really good stuff. And any good company you work at is gonna pay attention to you and say, oh, that's a great idea, but you got to be able to sell it as well. You have to back it up, but
Yeah, you have that portfolio. I'm sure you have that portfolio.
always updating my portfolio.
Yes, and you're so good. Okay,
Yeah.
so web design. It sounds like a lot of web design. I think a lot of people think, oh, it's sitting behind a computer, working at a computer, but it sounds much more like a lot of interpersonal skills. people skills,
Definitely.
being able to collaborate, being able to agree and disagree and come to a consensus and, you know, just, a lot of people skills where I think a lot of people think
Yes.
web design's all tech, but.
No,
not so
no,
much.
it's, you know, right now I have to deal with a lot of different clients, so it's, you know, I'm flying down to Miami tomorrow. I've never met these people before. I do my research, but I have to get to know them quickly and really, understand what their motivations are, what their goals are, that sort of thing. And if you go in there just saying like, well, you know, I can design this for you, blah, 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 just don't be a jerk, you know? You
Right.
have to have those people skills, and people will, they're, like I said, they're glad to talk about what they wanna do, whether that's web design or whether that's a real estate company. And so it's fun, it's exciting, it's challenging. Everybody's different, you know, and some people are harder to work with than others, but you have to learn how to navigate that. And like I
Right.
said, it's really a lot about people skills. I think that's where people differentiate themselves a lot.
Okay.
You can have these skills of web design or whatever, but the people who know how to talk and interact and collaborate are the
Right.
people that really do well.
Entry level, like somebody that's young, taught themselves, maybe took a few college classes, maybe has an IT background and some design online classes. What could they expect to make or work at?
Yeah, I think nowadays probably if you're more on the UX side, which it's a lot different from the development side, the IT side, but I think, you know, going in, you'd probably get around 50 plus, you know, a year. On the IT side, it's probably more like 60 or plus. Oh yeah, I mean, and again, yeah, the development side of things, the IT side of things, they are hiring. Like, we outsource a lot to India, you know, we just have so much work that, and there's a lot of people out there that do that. There's no shortage of jobs in that, yeah.
Okay, because, and there's been stuff in the news here lately about how St. Louis is kind of becoming a
Yeah,
hub,
absolutely.
an incubator for businesses, and they all, I'm sure they all, you know, these new businesses that are coming out, you know, the web-based business is gonna be a big component for their idea or product or whatever.
Absolutely. I mean, everything's online, you know, nobody's building stores anymore, so a lot of these entrepreneurs are thinking ahead and they're thinking digital, you know, and how can I have a website? Is there an app I need to build? How can I do digital marketing?
Can you build an app?
I cannot. I can
Really?
design one,
Okay,
so I don't really build anything. I design it, and then there's people in development or in IT that take that and they build that. And
do you
they're-
feel like you're able to get your creative juices out in web design?
Yes,
'Cause
yeah.
I know
mean-
you're an artist growing up, you like drawing and all that.
Yeah, I mean, it's, I don't do that as much, but what I really find satisfying is we have a wall that's a whiteboard, where I work right now, and so you just take a mark, what I do is I just get a marker and I just start drawing ideas out. It's, you know, you see those like Einstein or whatever with all the squiggles on it and everything, I mean, I fill up the whole thing, cause I'm just coming up with ideas, and I don't always know where I'm going with it, but I have an idea, and eventually I come to a solution, and that's really gratifying for me. There's other people that do the visual design, like the colors and the fonts and all that stuff. What I'm trying to get at is how can the system work so a user can get through it, and then how can that system interact with all these other systems? And then I have to understand the platform we're building on as well, so I can know the limitations of that platform. So it's you know, you start off just kind of a really big idea, and then you sort of whittle it down to what it can be and what it should be, and then eventually get something that the users like, the stakeholders like, and I can be proud of.
Wow,
Yeah.
good.
Cool.
Cool, all right, well, everybody, let's hear it for John. You need to be loud, he's all the way in Miami. Okay.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm glad you guys came.
All right,
Yeah.
thank you, John.
All right.